Hi everyone, this is my Necromancer build guide walkthrough video for Last Epoch Season 3. This is the Poison Skeleton Rogues. This build focuses on skeletal rogues to deal poison damage and to scale their damage further by using the unique weapon Lethal Concentration. This weapon allows our own increased poison damage modifiers to be applied also to our rogues and increase the value further up to 200% effectiveness. This includes item affixes, idols, and blessings. I'm going to discuss the mechanics, skills, passive tree, equipment, idols, and blessings. For the mechanics, we are using the skeleton rogues as our main damage, as our minion who will deal the damage for us, and this is being assisted by our summoned volatile zombies for their killing thresholds, and we're giving them our rogues are getting the buff from the Aura of Decay and the Dread Shade. For the Dread Shade, in order for the Dread Shade to be active as much as possible at all times, so we are using the Abomination to serve as a tank and the one who's carrying the Dread Shade. Since we are using the Aura of Decay, we need to be as close as much as possible to our skeleton rogues. Therefore, we need to ensure that we have a very good health regen and armor mitigation. For the skills, so our main minion damage dealer here is the skeleton rogue. So we are pathing and getting these nodes to activate the skeleton rogues, and using getting this Valve Flask to have the chance for our skeleton rogues to deal an additional poison damage to the enemies. And we're taking this path in order to remove the warriors, and we're also taking this path to add an additional skeletons, and then here also, and then we're taking this in order to remove the archers so that only skeleton rogues are being summoned. And we're taking at least 2 points in here so that it costs less mana, and then we're adding one more rogues here. And then for our volatile zombies, so the volatile zombies is we're taking this path so that for the mana efficiency also, and then for the killing thresholds, and this is just for giving us health and for the ward, and then we're just giving them an additional poison chance, and taking this vomit in order to give them the armor shred chance. I took this vomit so that the volatile zombies will not die quickly, and I will explain later why I chose this mechanic. And then for our tank, so I'm using the Assemble Abomination, and then I chose this one for additional multiplicative damage, and I'm taking this for more damage and health also. And then I chose this one so that the summoned skeleton will not be consumed during the creation of the Abomination. And then I'm taking this again for the threat and the health, and then I'm taking this Reeve, and I'm just taking this for the Bone Golems, and then I'm just adding this for more attack speed during speed farming. And then for our buffs, so we're using the Dread Shade, so we're taking this path, increasing the damage over time, which is the poison damage. We're taking this to convert now the necrotic damage to poison damage, and the additive necrotic damage to poison chance. And then we're just taking this for more area, and then area here as well in order to take this one so it's no longer draining the health of our minions. And even though we're only allowed to cast a one Dread Shade, and then here for more attack speed and then increase in damage. Then the main important buff here is the Aura of Decay. Aura of Decay has provides good synergy on the poison damage. So first is we're taking this path, and then an additional poison chance, and then this one is this is a multiplicative poison damage. And then this one, so for us we're taking less poison damage, and then this one reduces the poison resistance of the enemies while they are inside of the Aura of Decay. So this one is reducing the poison resistance of the enemies. And then this one I'm not really investing on heavily on the intelligence, but I have a decent amount of intelligence just to add a poison resistance, so that by adding adding this all together, basically we are almost reduced the poison resistance of the enemies up to 75%. And then we're taking this one for more area, and then taking this node, and then I just took this for the defiling novas. This one will just add an additional poison infliction on our own poison damage. Next, on our passive tree. So for our passive, it's pretty much straightforward. For the acolyte, it's forbidden knowledge. This one for attack speed. This one is for ward retention and for poison resistance. The aura of decay is available on the leech skill tree, so we are investing 10 points. So we put this here, 10 points here, in order to get the aura of decay skill. And then on our Necromancer passive tree, so this build that I have created, this one focuses on the vitality, and because of this forbidden teachings, on the 3-point bonus, this gives the minion deals more damage over time. This is a multiplicative damage per 1% damage over time per vitality. So this one I max out up to I max this node to 5. So that is why I'm taking node this also, so that our minions will have some armor, an additional health per vitality. And then I just took 2 points here for the intelligence and health. Since we're not basically, our minions are not always dying, so I didn't took this path, and I didn't took this node, but rather I took this one, additional ward per second for each of the minion, for each minion that is active. You will have, remember I mentioned about the volatile zombies that I chose the vomit. In 3 seconds we can almost let the volatile zombies count at a maximum of 6, approximately 190 ward per second. Here we are taking 5 points here. So here we're taking 5 points just for the a decent amount of armor shred, and for a chance to summon skeleton vanguards. And then we're taking 1 point here, 5 points here, and then 3 points here for an additional maximum number of skeletons. And then here, just adding this for an additional armor, health, stun avoidance, and more importantly here is the 5-point bonus, reduced bonus damage taken from critical hit. And then I'm taking 5 points here, and then this one is just for the attack speed. And we max out this rotting army to give them the poison chance and poison resistance. And then this for the effigies, and then increase in health. Again here I maximize the vitality here, and then here for additional skeleton rogues. And since we have approximately 19 that is active on the field most of the time, for the equipment, important unique on this build is this lethal concentration. This weapon is important for the build as it converts our own poison damage to our rogues, and since the rogues will deal a lot of poison damage, so they will also get the benefit of this minion leech, that they will regain their health as they deal the poison damage. And then we're using the mantle of the pale ox for the damage reduction, increase in health, and then we're also using the ambitions of an erased acolyte, will give us some ward, and then we're getting this +1 to level to our acolyte skills. And then we're also using omnis. This build will struggles on elemental resistances, so I'm just using these omnis so that it will give us some to cap all of our resistances. So basically on most of the gear we're just focusing on health regen, additive health regen, poison damage, vitality. Same thing with this one. For the ring we cannot add vitality here, so the vitality can only be added on the helm, on the armor, and on the boots only. I'm using the coral ring for the vitality and health regen. If you don't have the coral ring, you can still use the gold ring for the additional elemental resistance if you're struggling with capping your elemental resistance. And then Praetorian Belt, same thing. If you don't have the Omnis, using the gold amulet. The gold amulet is giving fire and lightning resistance. So same thing, you will be struggling I think on the lightning resistance. So by adding this, so that way your lightning resistance will be also capped. If you don't have the Praetorian Belt, you can also use the Spider Silk. That way you can get an additional poison resistance and cold resistance. So lightning resistance and cold resistance is what I have observed that you will be struggling to cap if you don't have this Omnis. If you're struggling with elemental resistance, you can replace one of the ring maybe with the gold ring to cap your elemental resistance. And then here there's no poison damage on the gloves, so we're just use minion damage and again health regen and hybrid health. Same thing with this one. Again, we're focusing on our armor and we're using the percentage reduced critical hits taken. And then same thing with the helmet here. This is also giving us a damage reduction on critical hits. Adding them all together, you will reach up to 100%, so you are mitigating the critical hits from the enemies. On my gameplay, I have I'm close to 45% armor, and my health is around 20s, I think around 2500, and my health regen is at 1000. So you have a better chance to survive and regain your health most of the time. So in this build, so you're getting 59% multiplier on your poison damage, and you will feel that there is a bit of significant damage when you have based on investing on vitality rather than on intelligence, even though we know that each intelligence increased the damage of our minions by 4%, but I feel like the vitality with the forbidden teachings will scale the damage of the poison damage of our rogues. If you don't have these unique items, these affixes that I have presented here is basically these are the affixes that you need on if you don't have the unique item. If you just have the exalted item, so you can just focus on finding this affixes. And if you have a 1 LP on the lethal concentration, for me it's ideal to choose the poison damage rather than the melee and bow damage. The poison damage here, if you have the T6, especially the T7, will really scale the damage of the poison damage of your skeleton rogues. And then here for the Mantle of the Pale Ox, I also suggest to use the T6 or the T7 increase in health regen. And then if you have the Omnis, focus on the health regen. That additive health regen, especially the T7, will significantly increase your health regeneration. And then for the Ambition of an Erased Acolyte, just keep farming this Weaver's Wheel relic. And what I have is I was just lucky to get a bit of T4 on the health and regen. I also got a poison damage. So for the idols, again, we're focusing on using vitality here and then poison damage. So this is a double effect, poison damage, which will be transferred again to our minion, and then this one is giving additional minion poison damage. Same thing with this one. And then again, increase health and elemental resistance. And again, you're gonna struggle with elemental resistance. Increase health and elemental resistance. This one. So again, the enchanted affix, I'm using the armor and reduce damage taken from critical strikes, and then just increase health and additional health. Still, somehow you will still struggle with elemental resistance. So I would suggest, just if you find this kind of idol that has an elemental resistance, just keep it until if you find yourself that you have already really maxed out your resistances and you don't need this elemental resistance suffix, then you can replace it with the health also. And then for the blessings, we're using void resistance, and then this one for the increased poison damage, which is again will be transferred to our rogues. Increase in armor, I would choose this one versus the minion damage on the blessings of this boss timeline. Physical, and increase in health regen. The build planner and its loot filter can be accessed on the link on the description box below. For any questions, feedback, and suggestions, feel free to post on the comment section below. If you like this video, how about subscribing on my channel and click that notification bell so that you'll be updated on my next videos. You can also visit my Twitch channel when I play the game, and you can have a chat with me and enjoy the journey of my builds and my fun gameplay when I go live. Hope you have fun playing this build. Thank you very much for watching. See you on my next video and have a good one. Bye.